Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers Pregame presented by Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the afternoon. Joining me live in the Xfinity studio, it is Philly's #1 hockey beat writer, Charlie O'Connor. What's up today, Chuck?
It's good to be back in studio, William.
It's weird in here.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
I forgot
okay.
what this place looked like.
All right, looking good. The lighting is like good. I'm not just in my house with my dog trying to break in. No, it's really, really nice to be back in here. It's nice to be wrapping up this road trip at a reasonable hour, quite honestly.
I can see how many likes we have.
Yeah, I can actually see the like button, and guess what? You gotta hit it.
Hit
the
like
freaking
button.
like button. Get us to 100 for pregame. You owe us, damn it. You don't, but it'd be nice.
Hey, we did a show from midnight to 1 a.m. on New Year's Eve.
It looked for a while like this game is going to end at exactly midnight, and luckily the third period took forever.
Yeah.
So we at least,
Yeah, we started.
that.
We started at like 12:07.
Yeah, we at least got through. It was like halfway through the third, it hit midnight, and we're like, all right, well, at least we weren't on the air and missed the ball drop and all that. But we are back here today, and the Flyers are wrapping up the road trip against Edmonton. We will talk all about it, but first, got to tell you about the sweet takeover.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. January 6th is upon us. 3 days away. Still time to get your tickets.
Literally next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Today's Saturday. Next Tuesday.
I am so off on what day it is. I'm like, really? 3 days away? Are they even going to be back in time for that? It's like, yeah, they will. But make sure you go make sure you go to allphly.com/events. Get your tickets now. We got some perks to tell you about. So we're doing this, and we have the a diehard program for members. You can purchase the tickets at an $80 discount. So if you are a diehard, you get a pretty steep discount on this thing. That's pretty sweet. And everybody who purchases a ticket will receive a free hat and be eligible to enter a drawing to receive the Flyers signed jersey. We're also going to be donating a pair of sweet tickets to a vet who enters a contest we're going to have on social media over the next couple of days. So that's going to be cool. It's all part of our a new program we have here at PHLY where we're kind of helping out the military a little bit. Our first action is we're donating 200 tickets to Vet Tix. It's Veteran Tickets Foundation. It's a national nonprofit that provides free event tickets to the U.S. military members and their families so they can attend games of their choice at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. We're donating a bunch of tickets to that, and we're also going to be donating a pair of sweet tickets for it, but you can get your tickets at allphly.com/events. There's still time. There's still time to get in on Flyers Ducks at Xfinity Mobile Arena in the PHLY suite. All right, Charlie, let's talk about today's game, though. Today it is Flyers Oilers. It is going to be a up-close look at Connor McDavid, and my God, you just look at his stat line, and you just shake your head. Honestly, it's truly incredible how good he is. But I want to first take a look at the Flyers lineup. A couple of different things to tell you about. First is Dan Vladar getting the start. It is his 24th career start. That'll tie him for the second most of his career. He had 24 in 2022-23. He made 29 starts last season. He's going to break that in a couple of weeks, I would think. He's also got 14 wins on the season, Charlie. Tied for his career high. A win today gives him a new career high in wins less than halfway through the season. So that will be pretty cool to see, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Vladar later. But we kind of discussed, okay, they had the back-to-backs, the 30th and 31st. Oh, is it kind of weird that it's not Vladar against his old team, and like they kind of mixed all that up. But I am happy to see him finishing this road trip, and they're just going to keep putting it on him. And considering the alternative, I guess they kind of have to at this point.
Yeah, well, especially considering what we just saw from Sam Emerson, 2-3 days ago. That was Wednesday, I guess, was when they played on the 31st.
Yes.
It was just a reminder that the Flyers have one goalie that they really truly can rely upon, and it's Dan Vladar. It's not Sam Emerson. That's not to say Sam Emerson can't have good games. It's just that when he gets the start, you can't depend upon it. No. Whereas with Dan Vladar, and now watch you give up 6 goals tonight because it's against Connor McDavid. But like when he gets the start, you can generally speaking expect that he's going to play at least well, if not great. And that's a luxury for any team to have, but especially a team like the Flyers who, while they have gotten better at offense over the last couple months, they don't have the firepower of an Edmonton that has a Connor McDavid. They don't have a Connor McDavid.
Yeah, they don't have that, and really, who does? But they have been getting by more with depth scoring, but you can see it go quiet from time to time. Like we said, I think it was last postgame, their offense, or maybe pregame, the offense is basically Trevor Zegras and then whoever has a game you weren't expecting. Yeah. Like that's basically what
steps up on a game.
Okay, Konechny's starting to come around. We think we can.
Konechny can probably be added to that list. Now.
I think we can probably add.
Now
and they're playing together.
Yeah,
like so. That's one line.
They're usually going to be on the same goal.
Yes, it's usually one assists the other with Dvorak or a defenseman pitching in as well.
Right.
And then it's okay. It'd be nice to get a little more out of Mish, but can't depend on that. Tippett. We all know my issues with Owen Tippett.
He is what he is.
He is what he is.
Until he takes a step, he is what he is, which is some nights he's going to look like a superstar and other nights you're not going to notice him.
So they need to lean on this goaltending. That has been the theme, especially in first periods this season. We will see how that goes. But a couple other lineup notes, Charlie. Emil Andrae returning to the lineup after a 1-game absence, and Garnet Hathaway making his return after missing the last 6 games. I guess these were the first times he's been scratched as a Flyer, I would assume.
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
What do you think? We'll start with Andrae. I'm glad it was just a 1-game thing. Got to get Juleson in at some point, and now he's back, and it looks like he's going to be paired with Drysdale in his regular, top 4 role.
Yeah, the point I made, I believe I made it in postgame, but I made it on Twitter again a couple days later, is that I don't necessarily have a problem with you sitting Andrae for 1 game.
It's 1 game.
It just can't turn into a thing. And understandably, we all remember what happened last season, where he had the 1 game where he takes the big hit, and then suddenly it goes from he's getting 20 minutes a night to a week and a half later. It's like, well, if he's got to play, we got to send him down. It's like, but you were using him as a second pair defenseman.
You were just playing him 20 minutes.
And he was doing real good. And then suddenly you're like, well, we can't get him in a game, so he's got to go down to the minors. It didn't make any sense.
Well, you could, though.
You could easily just play him in the role that he was doing quite well in.
Just dress him.
2 weeks ago. But I understand why that was on everyone's mind. It was on my mind when it happened. The fact that he's back in today, it hints to me, and I guess we'll see. There's a possibility that maybe he'll be out next game for the first game of the of the return to the Xfinity Mobile Arena. But hopefully, it was just a 1-game thing. And the point I made on Twitter is, look, I get it if you're looking at it and you're saying to yourself, like, well, they don't have to scratch Andrae if they want to bring Juleson. They could have scratched Ristolainen, and they could have scratched Sealer. But the way it tends to work in the NHL, and this is just like a hard truth of coaching, is that it's easier for the coach, both from a just turnkey perspective, but also in terms of selling it to the player.
Yeah.
It's easier for the coach to go to the young kid who isn't fully established at the NHL level and be like, you're sitting for a game. I haven't loved some of the things you've done over the last week or so. Go up and watch a game in the press box, focus on these specific things, and then come back in 3 days raring to go. It's much easier to do that than it is to go to Nick Sealer or Rasmus Linen and be like, yeah, sorry, we got to get Noah Juleson in. So you're sitting, you established veteran, and then he's going to think to himself like, well, I don't know. I thought I was an every night guy. I thought I earned this. Whereas Andrae, you can say, well, he's better than Sealer, better than Ristolainen, whatever. You can have that opinion, but there's a feeling in the room, not just from the individual player, but just from the team as a whole, that well, he hasn't earned the right necessarily to play in every game the way that a Nick Sealer or even a Ristolainen has. So from a coaching perspective, he's just the easiest guy to pull out for a game if you've decided you just can't have Noah Juleson getting cold because, hey, there might be a time where some defenseman on the team breaks his leg and is going to be out for 3 months and you need to put Juleson back in and you don't want it to take him a week to get back on his game because he hasn't played enough.
Yeah, you don't need to throw away 12 minutes for 2 games.
Yeah.
Because Yeah, we couldn't play him that much, and when he was out there, he hadn't touched a puck in a game situation in a month, so he stunk.
But the key to this is that it had to just be one game.
One game.
And it looks like it's just one game.
As long he had played, I think I said 23 or 26 straight leading up to that. It's not like he'd been being jerked around a ton.
Yeah.
He was an every night guy. They took him out for one. Now he is back. And Jackie just tweeted the lines. We're getting on defense what we have come to expect. York, Sanheim, Sealer, Risto, Andrae Drysdale, obviously Vladar starting. And then there are the forwards, Charlie, and it is basically what we've come to expect, but with the one change. Dvorak centering Konechny and TK, Coots with Tippett and Barkey, Cates with Michkov and Brink, and then Abel centering Grundstrom and Hathaway. So it is Grebenkin who comes out of the lineup for Garnet Hathaway's
Which makes
return.
sense. You're not going to pull Carl Grundstrom out of the lineup.
You can't at this point.
You can't, at least right now.
Yeah, listen, we'll see how today goes, and then you reassess. But, if you were going to get Hathaway in, it's like, well, not the guy who's third on the team in goals. Probably not him.
Probably not at
the
the
guy
moment.
who's second behind TK in scoring this month. You probably can't do that. Hathaway comes back in after missing 6 straight games with the newly formed fourth line. Do you think this is we got to get him in, or the beginning of maybe a rotation?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I gather that people online are annoyed by this, that they don't want to see Garnet Hathaway anymore. I think where I differ from that opinion is that, look, undeniably, objectively speaking, Garnet Hathaway has not been good this year. He has 0 points in 30-something games. It's been bad.
Great.
It's been rough. The underlying numbers aren't good. The eye test hasn't been good. Nothing's been good for Garnet Hathaway. I think the difference for me is that I still have hope that you might be able to get the Garnet Hathaway from the previous 2 years back. He's been bad this year, but I'm not ready to just be he's just trash, he's garbage, he's awful, and he's unredeemable. He should never play another game for the Philadelphia Flyers unless a bunch of guys get hurt. I remember how effective he was in a fourth line role last year and the year before that, and I'm not willing to just park him in the press box forever because I don't think he can get that back. Now, am I concerned that he can't get that back? Sure. I'm concerned that maybe this is he had the concussion at the end of last year. Maybe that version of Garnet Hathaway is never coming back, or maybe he just hit the aging curve real steep and he's never going to be that guy again. But I still have some hope that maybe you can get him back, and to get him back, you got to play him sometimes. So I don't really have a problem with this single game. Now, if he continues to not produce and then they throw him out there for the next 5 while he's continuing to not produce, then I have a problem with that. But I'm not ready to just relegate Garnet Hathaway to the scrap heap yet, in a way that I think a lot of fans are.
Yeah, and I understand that. I think if this situation was a little different, if it was and now it's bumping a rotation or Luchenko or something, okay, yeah, let's just waive Garnet Hathaway then, because let's just let this guy play.
Right.
He's a big part of the future. Not saying Grebenkin can't be part of the future or that he hasn't shown signs. I think he and Grundstrom make a pretty good duo, but what is he really? What is Grebenkin's upside decent enough third liner? Then I'm willing to maybe have it be a little bit more. I'd rather if it's Grebenkin 2 out of every 3 and Hathaway gets in there once a week, I'm probably okay with that. Whereas if it was someone like Alex Bump that I think could be a top 6 forward one day, I'm maybe let's not do that.
It's a really fair point, especially because look, I don't know what Grebenkin is going to become ultimately when he is hopefully an established NHL player where he's making the team every year, he gets another contract and one. I don't know what he's going to become, but I do think the most likely outcome is quality fourth liner. And quality fourth liners get scratched sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. They all do sometimes.
It does happen, and that's it took them how long of Garnet Hathaway not playing well to take him out of the lineup? Yeah. Now he is in his 30s. He's a guy who's established himself as part of the...
Yeah, they're paying him an above-average second.
The on-ice leadership and everything he provides. Sure. So it's difficult for a coach to take that guy out of the lineup.
Sure.
But still, he'd stunk, and it took over 30 games, So I'm okay with it if it becomes a rotation, as long as the rotation kind of favors the younger guy.
Yeah, if it's 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Grebenkin gets 2, Hathaway gets 1. I can live with that.
And then, listen, we've all really loved the Grundstrom, this breakout he has
had. If he tails off, then he's in that mix too.
I am expecting it to tail off. Sure. And then if it becomes those 3 wingers for 2 spots are all kind of, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's
right now you can't sit Grunstrom.
No, you can't sit him now. But when it's okay, now it's 5 games in a row. He hasn't scored.
Yeah, when he's suddenly scoring on only 20% of his shots rather than 36.
Like I could probably live with that. But right now it's you can't take Grunstrom out. That's asinine. Like he's one of your best scorers at the moment, which is wild. Says a lot about what the consistency of this offense.
He's also just ridiculously hot right now.
Yeah, no,
sometimes that happens.
You don't walk away from a heater. Yeah. Like you leave the guy in there till he goes cold.
Yeah,
that's 100. You got 4 lines to play with. Leave the dude in there until he proves he can't score anymore. Yeah. All right, so that is tonight's lineup. I want to come back and talk a little bit about the Olympic selections, and one we are still awaiting but expecting, and then talk a little about Edmonton as well. But it's time for our break. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 has 90 million users worldwide. They live stream almost 800,000 events each year. And today, Bet365 offers the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 different sports. But now I got to tell you about my favorite thing. It's the early payout offer. Because with the Bet365 NHL early payout offer, you're a winner. If your team gains a 3-goal lead, you get an instant payout on straight bets, and your parlay selections are marked as winners. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And we have breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, win or lose. All you got to do is sign up, use code PHLY365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, whether your initial bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, total, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in PA. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Do we really want Matvei Michkov playing goalie? No, it's not worth the risk, time, or money. It doesn't make any sense. You want to keep your stars focused on doing what they do best, and the same goes for your business. Togo can help any business looking to streamline operations become more efficient or unlock more time for their best people. From customer service and accounting to order management, logistics, admin, data entry, and even complex multi-step operational processes, Togo takes it off your plate at a fraction of the cost. And every engagement with Togo starts with free process mapping and engineering. Togo doesn't bill a dime until the real work begins. With programs starting as low as $1,000 a month, you're not going to break the bank. And each Togo program includes dedicated staff, custom automations, and US-based process engineers who act as your quarterback, giving you complete control, total transparency, and instant efficiency. At Togo, you call the plays, we execute. Visit harnesstogo.com. Scale smarter, work faster, and stay focused on winning. Togo. I
love that.
I just love it. All right, it's time to talk about a few of the Flyers Olympians. As of now, they have 3 guys who will be suiting up in Milan. We assume if that's where the games are going to be played.
I guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out.
See if they actually build that arena.
If that arena gets done or not. But we talked about Sanheim for Canada in the last show. Yes. Very, very happy for him. Rasmus Ristolainen, glad he was able to come back healthy in time to make this roster for Finland.
Yeah, definitely.
And very cool that Rodrigo Abels gets to go for Latvia.
It's going to be like their 1C, right?
I get. Like, how many Latvian players are even in the league?
Not many.
I should have looked at their roster, but I don't think there's a ton, considering, the guy who centers the 4th line that didn't score for 35 games.
Is a lot.
Is an Olympian.
Yeah. Well, not even an Olympian. This was one of the guys who was like, oh yeah, well obviously.
Was he like one of their right away selections?
Did Latvia even do do that? Or was that just
maybe.
for like the premier
just
hockey
the US
countries?
and Canada?
Yeah.
They didn't know.
I'm not sure. I have to go back.
I remember when the rosters got like it was like the leaks for 4 nations. And it was like, okay, we got it for the US and Canada. And it's like Sweden and Finland, I think, just like put theirs out. Like there was no leaks, right? It was just like, no one even asked, but here you go. Maybe it's that, but it's cool. Like, okay, it's international best on best. We love the, US Canada rivalry, all that. That's what it's about. Finland, Sweden are their own rivalry. We know a lot of those guys. Yep. And then there's countries like Latvia, like, yeah, that's cool. You like Rodrigo Abels, Olympian. Yeah. No one can ever say he wasn't, he'll always have that.
And every year, well, not every year, because it's been a while since we've done the Olympics, but every time there's one of these best on best Olympic tournaments, there's always that one time where one of the non-traditional countries like puts a real scare into Canada,
yeah,
or
man.
puts a real scare into the U.S. or Sweden, and that's always a real fun game where like you have the goalie just stands on his head, the shot on goal counter is like 40-8, but it's 1-1 in the third period, and those games are fun.
I always like everyone always laughs about my love for Belarus, but I think it was 2002 when they almost beat Canada. It was like, wow, who was it the last time? I think it was Oskars Bartulis, wherever he was from. I think he was on the team.
I think
maybe
he's Latvian. Yeah, I believe he's Latvian.
maybe it was Latvia, where they played just like a crazy game against Canada, where Shea Weber was just like teeing it up, trying to kill people. It was a former Flyer. I can't remember. Maybe it was Oskars. Maybe it was someone who like just kept blocking Weber's shot, and it was like, yo, he's gonna have to go to the hospital after this. Like, this isn't good. He's gonna look like Rocky and finally, like, Weber gets one through because the dude was just a step slow and scores. But it was like, those games are always crazy. But the Czechia roster still hasn't been announced. I've been looking all over for it.
Yeah, it's just not out yet.
I saw that on January 6th, they will announce the women's roster.
So presumably they'll announce the men's roster
I've
too, I
just
guess.
seen nothing about when the men's roster is going to be announced or anything, but it is like traditionally a pretty decent hockey country. It's not one of the big four. It's not Russia, but hey, Russia's not there, so that leaves one of those spots after.
And the Czechs have talent.
Yeah, they have a ton. Yeah. But maybe what they're missing is that 1G, Charlie.
Ooh.
And looking at all the Czech goalies, we went over Vladar's numbers earlier. 14-6-3 with a 2.40 and a 9.10 save percentage. You look at all the other Czech goalies. I mean, he's having the best season. I don't really think it's like David Riddick in 17 starts. Vladar's made more and has a little bit of a better numbers, but everyone else, he's head and shoulders above them, at least in terms of, like the publicly available counting stats, basically.
Yeah, no,
he's having a really, really strong season.
I mean, and he also, if you go back, I mean, because this is a big thing for international play. It's that the international teams expect guys on the bubble to go to world championships and put in the time. Vladar not only did that, he excelled. He had a .951 save percentage at 4 games at Worlds last summer. So to me, it would shock me, given his last performance on the international stage and given how good of a season he's having for the Flyers, it would shock me if he's not on the team. And I think it's a legitimate possibility he could have a pretty important role.
Yeah, I think it's as likely as it isn't like that he's their starter. Like, it was Dostal was kind of the idea coming into the season. He hasn't had a great year. The Ducks don't play a ton of defense.
Yeah,
so
he doesn't get a lot of support defensively.
Yeah,
that's true.
Okay, he's a GAA over 3, the sub 890 save percentage, not outstanding numbers by any means, but also like the Ducks just trade chances.
Yeah,
that's how they play.
Yeah.
And that's fun, but it kind of leaves your goalie out there. Vemelka's been decent, but like he's got average numbers. And then you look at everyone else, no one's had the workload or the success of Vladar. I got to believe he's maybe in the running, if not the favorite to be their starter, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing him get a little bit of recognition as well.
I feel like it would be in my mind, it would be a significant snub if he does not make the team.
Yeah, just looking
it would be a real snub.
Like the guys, maybe the like best known names on the list are the 2 last ones, Vanacek and Mrazek, and it's like, yeah, well, they stink. Like, those are legitimately bad numbers.
Yeah, right.
Like, and all the other guys, it's like, yeah, he's having the best season, I would say, by far. I will say there has been maybe a huge snub by Team Sweden, Charlie. Carl Grundstrom, come on.
Ooh, yeah.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Ricard Raquel has 4 goals. He makes the team. He had 35 last year, but it ain't last year. Yeah, I had no idea he had 35 goals last year either. Not something I would have guessed in a million years, but 4 this year, it's 3 fewer than Grundstrom has. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Oilers and then get to the picks, Charlie.
All right.
It's very funny. The Oilers just do this every year. On American Thanksgiving, they were 10-10-5. It was like, oh man, this goaltending is just untenable. Connor McDavid started a little slow, didn't have a ton of goals. It was like a whole thing. And, are they going to miss the playoffs if they're going to the, well.
No, they're not.
Now on January 3rd, they're 20-15-6. 46 points is the most in the Pacific. They are a few point percentages behind Vegas if you really want to see who leads it. But by total points, they lead the Pacific Division. And Connor McDavid is tied for first in the NHL in scoring with 70 points, although Nathan MacKinnon has 10 more goals and 2 fewer games played.
Yeah,
so
I think McKinnon's been better
in terms
this
of like the
season.
Art Ross.
Yeah, he's been better.
It's MacKinnon is kind of leading, but they both have 70 points. He's on a 14-game point streak as Connor McDavid. 13 goals, 21 assists. It's not like he's on a 14-game point streak. It's like, oh, he's got 17 points. He's been really good lately. No, he's got 30 points in the last 14 games. Like 34 points.
34
That's
points.
Freaking insane.
That was, to be clear, that was his month of December. His month of December was 13 goals in 15 games, 34 points in 15 games. His October, 14 points in 12. Pretty weak for Connor. This November was better, 22 and 14, and then he just goes absolute nuclear in December.
All right, I'm catching McKinnon. Oh, McKinnon's running away with the MVP. I'm gonna tie him in points.
Yeah, he clearly loves Advent. He loves those Advent calendars where you get the little piece of chocolate you eat every day in the lead up to Christmas. That's his way of celebrating Advent.
It's just like, oh, there's a 5-assist game behind this this day. I think on the 23rd he had 5 assists. Like, just ridiculous.
Also, the other thing I want to point out about that stat profile that Brenna had up, 33.33% power play, literally 1 out of 3. They score 1 out of 3 power plays. That's bonkers. It's by far the best in the league, to be clear.
Oh, well, yeah.
But that's insane. You score on 1 out of every 3 power plays. You give them 3 power plays, they're going to score on at least 1.
That's literally, like, when it's 1 out of 3, that's literally won a game.
Yeah, you're spotting them. You're spotting them a 1-0 lead.
You're
every
down
game.
1 if you take a penalty.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically what it comes down to. I do want to talk a little bit about their goaltending, Charlie, because they made the trade. They ship out Skinner. They bring in Jari, but it does look like it's going to be our old pal. Our old pal Cal.
Oh, Cal Pickard.
Cal Pickard.
Oh, Cal Pickard.
Who is
not very good.
Horrible.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
4-5-2 with a 369 and an 874 save percentage. Although he is coming off of on December 29th, he stopped 41 of 42 against Winnipeg because goalies are weird. But that gets him to 874 on the season, which is dreadful. It is 7 points higher than Sam Erson's, which I didn't make up math. I'm just telling you the numbers.
I would say that's uncalled for, but honestly, it's extremely called for.
Listen, I'm not trying to take shots at Sam here, but it is like trying to put in perspective how bad his numbers are because Cal Pickard like belongs on waivers. This is a team like they had to go and trade for a goalie, and everyone's like, well, did you really get any better? Because your backup is still like the worst in the league. And then it's, no, he isn't. Actually, ours is. Just to put that in perspective. So it looks like he's going to be the starter. It still just says likely on daily faceoff, but like we're a few minutes from puck drop, and that hasn't changed, so I got to believe it's him.
Okay.
And that leads us to pregame picks, Charlie. It's time for our Bet365 pregame picks. Sign up for Bet365 and use code PHLY365. Deposit $10 and then place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. Whether your initial bet wins or loses, must be 21 plus and in PA. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Just one. And if there is a goalie, other than Sam Ersson that I believe Garnet Hathaway can finally score a goal on, it is, in fact, Cal Pickard. So we're taking him at 11-1 to score his first of the season. He just sat for 6 games. I very much believe he doesn't want to go back to the press box. He should, but I believe he doesn't want to.
No, I mean, he shouldn't want to.
This
he
should
want to earn
be
his way back
Garnet Hathaway's best game of the season.
Yeah.
I am expecting that. It has been 265 days since he last scored a goal. You got to believe he's going to get one this season. Why not have it be today in the middle of the day against the Edmonton Oilers? And that's my bet for the day, Chuck. I have one Garnet Hathaway to score. Listen, it's a long shot. That's why it's 11-1. But he's got to score eventually. And the goalie's terrible he's up against.
Look, I mean, I'm rooting for him. I know a lot of, as I said, I know a lot of fans are dreading the return of Garnet Hathaway. I like Garnet Hathaway a lot. I thought he was a lot of fun the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He's a really good dude. This is a big game for him, you know, not just in terms of like, oh, well, he's got to stay in lineup. Like, dude's 34 years old, okay? If he doesn't reestablish himself as at least a realistic option every night for this team, whether he gets in every game or not, that depends on how other guys are doing and whatnot. But if he doesn't reestablish himself as a realistic option to be in the lineup every game, like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that like he gets bought out.
I was gonna say,
and then like his NHL career could very quickly be over. Like he could get bought out, and then next summer, be
looking for a PTO.
Yeah, be a PTO guy.
Yeah.
Like this is a big pivot point game. Whereas if he goes out there and he's stirring the pot and he scores a dirty goal and he kills a penalty with a big block, like suddenly maybe he changes the entire trajectory of the season for him and can get himself back on track to be viewed as a clear-cut NHL fourth liner. This is a big game for him, and I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping that he steps up and he steps up to meet the opportunity at hand. I really do.
When, I realize role and everything, but just looking at what this team has, we're constantly talking about the glut of wingers. Buyout ain't off the table. It's not like it'd be a huge cap hit for a team that's going to have space and the cap is going up. Yeah. Like, it wouldn't kill them, and then he is... All right, we'll see if we can get you like in camp in Columbus or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that's what his career turns into.
No, he needs to change the narrative of his season. He doesn't have a single point in 33 games. Those insane. Guys aren't prioritized by any organization.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So hopefully he gets that first goal today. We're betting on it. But that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers Pregame, presented by Bet365. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on YouTube. We'll be back as soon as this thing goes final with postgame. Make sure you hit that like button too. We're not at 100 yet, and that disappoints me. Hit the freaking like button. All right, that'll do it. Follow us on Twitter as well. I am Bill Matz. That's Charlie O'Connor. Thank you to Brenna. Let's go Flyers.
We all silly like the mayor.